A pleasant day in the virtual world class. Before we start our discussion, we will have a short prayer first. Let us bow our heads and say first. Dear Lord, as we gather here today in the harbor of your safety, we thank you for fellowship and family. We ask that you will strengthen us, restore us, and guide us with your love. Lord, we ask that you will guide our spirit onwards because and we would take all your promises all to the earth. Amen. We ask that you will for our attendance si- for our attendance please comment present on the chat box. For our attendance class, please comment present on the chat box so I will know who are present and who are absent on the live stream. So, good day, Mr. Raymart Sapin. You are present. Also, Mr. Justin Galas. Good day po. You are present also. And also, we have, yeah. And also we have Miss Lorica Esponilla. Good day, ma'am. Present. I'm glad that we are all present today, class. And it's good to hear that we are all present and we are all well in this conjunction, in this juncture, because we will have a wonderful discussion ahead of us. As a review, but first, let's have a direction first. So, you will comment your answers on my questions on the comment box so that I will read your answers later on the live stream. Again, my directions are comment your answers on the chat box and I will see your answers and read it, okay? As a review, my first question is this. What was our topic last meeting? Again, what was our topic last meeting, class? Please comment your answers on the chat in the chat box and I will read your answers. Again, the question is what was our topic last meeting? Thank you very much, Miss Lorica Espinilla. She answered adverbs, and your answer is very much correct. Our topic last meeting is part of the 8 parts of the speech, which is the adverbs. Very good, Miss Espinilla. My second question is this. Can someone tell me what an adverb is again? I will repeat my question. Can someone tell me what an adverb is again? You may comment your answers on the chat box so that I will read your answers and also I will see if you are still active in the discussion and also if you are still active with me. Thank you for that. Mr. Rimar Sapin said that an adverb commonly describes a verb. They add details to show an action, how an action is done. Thank you very much for your answer, Mr. Rimar Sapin, and your answer is very much correct. Miss Lorica Esponilla added also to her answer that an adverb modifies a verb, an adjective and another adverb, and it usually ends with the ly letters, like frequently, quickly, just like that. Those are good definitions of what an adverb is. Let's move now to my third question. Can you give me some example of sentences using adverbs? Again, class, who can give me some examples of sentences using adverb? You may comment your examples on the chat box so that I will read your answers. Miss Lorica Esponilla recited that gave an example of her using adverb in her sentence. She cited, she rarely recite during our face-to-face class. Again, her example, she rarely recite during our face-to-face class. That is a good example of a sentence using adverb. You are correct to your example, Miss Lorica S. Punilla. How about the others? Can you give me some examples of sentences using adverb? She walks slowly. Mr. Raymart Sapin gave his example of sentence using adverb. She walks slowly. Your example is very much correct, Mr. Sapin. I can really see that you are really fluent when it comes to adverb. Our discussion last meeting is really worth it because I can really see that you are being fluent when it comes to using adverb in your sentences. Also, Mr. Justin Gallas gave an example of his about using adverbs in his sentence. He said she sings loudly. Again, his example, she sings loudly. Thank you very much for your wonderful examples of using adverb. Again, an adverb is a word that describes another verb, an adjective, or another adverb. And we use an adverb because we wanted to give more description, we wanted to give more definition of our sentences. We use adverb because we want to add power in our sentence. We wanted to give it a little more details. That's why adverbs are very important in the English grammar. And we will have e-learning objectives for today's discussion. We would identify an interjection and understand how to use an interjections properly, adhere to the positive values that are present in the discussion, and also make a video presentation using your interjections in your sentences. So we will now move to our next, to our motivation. So I have here presented to you a video, or I have here prepared a video for you to watch, and you need to analyze this video. I want you to analyze the video that will be presented to you because I will be giving you some questions about what are your takeaways on the video. Let's now watch the video. Hi guys! Here are some examples of different emotions to feel when you are chatting someone online. Yay! I passed the exam! I will tell my friends now. Oh no! What happened? I thought she will dump me. Hey chat! What will I chat next? You're so annoying. I hope that you have watched the video that is presented to you earlier because I will be giving you some supplementary questions about what have you noticed on the video. So, my first question is what are your observations about the video that is presented to you earlier? I want please comment your answers on the chat box so that I will be reading your answers on my questions. Again, the first question is what are your observations about the video that is presented to you earlier? Miss Lorica Esponilla cited that she noticed that the video shows different emotions. You are right with your answer, Miss Lorica, that the video gives us a perspective of different emotions that we are feeling when we are chatting someone online. Mr. Sapin remark said that we observe different emotions that the speaker used in different situations. Thank you very much for that wonderful answer, Mr. Remark Sapin. And also your answer is correct that the video shows different emotions that the speaker used in different situations. My second question is this. What do you think is the purpose of interjection? My second question is, what do you think is the purpose of interjections? So I used interjections in my sentences earlier on the video presentation. So what do you think is the use of interjection? Mr. Raymart Sapin answered that the use of interjections, it adds a deeper layer or a deeper meaning to our sentences. Your answer is very much correct, Mr. Sapin, that the interjections gives a more emphasis on what we are feeling in the sentence. Miss Lorica Esponilla said that it is used to convey a strong emotion or mood. Interjections conveys us a strong emotion. That's when we are feeling sad, lonely, happy, and we want to show it in our sentences. We can use interjections to give it more emphasis. Mr. Justin Gallas answered that interjections show more feelings or emphasis. You're also correct, Mr. Gallas. It gives more emphasis on what we feel on our sentences. Thank you for answering the guide questions, class. We will now be moving on with our discussion with interjections. In today's lesson, we will discuss what an interjection is. So, I will be giving you some questions later on with our discussion. So, it is okay to use the chat box to comment your answers so that I will be reading your answers later on. Are we clear with the instructions upon answering the questions that I will be giving to you? You may comment okay on the chat box so that I can see if you are still active. A very good day, Mr. Led. Well, welcome to the live stream. You may comment okay on the on the chat box so that I thank you po, Mr. Led. How about the others? Mr. Galas has answered. Mr. Raymart Sapin has also answered. And I think Miss Lorica Esponilla have messaged me that she is experiencing a problem on her internet connection. So Miss Lorica, if you are still with us, you may just, yes, you are still with us, Miss Lorica. Has answered. Okay, sir. We'll now continue our discussion with interjections. The Latin word interjection, the word interjection came from the Latin words inter and jacere. Again, it came from the Latin word inter and jacere. Inter means between and jacere means to throw. It means that interjection is a term used to communicate a quick emotion between sentences or our thoughts. It gave us more emphasis on what we feel on our sentences. Again, what is the meaning of inter and jacere? You may comment your answers on the chat box. Again, what is the meaning of inter and jacere? You may comment your answers on the chat box. Miss Lorica Esponilla answered just jacere or jacre means to throw and inter means between. Your very good answer, Miss Lorica. You are correct with your answer. So an interjection again is a word or group of words we use to communicate a quick emotion in our sentences. If our emotions needs a little bit of color or needs a little bit of or it is lacking of emotion, we use interjection to make it more colorful, to give it to liven up a little bit, to liven it up. That's why we use interjections. So can someone give me some examples of emotions? Can someone give me some example of emotions that humans are feeling? You may comment your answers. So can you give me some example of emotions that we feel as individuals? Mr. Remark Sapin said happy. I know that you are very happy today, Mr. Remark Sapin. Mr. Mark Justin Galas answered angry. And Miss Lorica Esponilla answered sadness. Thank you very much for your examples of emotions. All of your answers are correct, class. We will now move on to examples of interjection in our sentences. As you can see on the sentence that is present on the examples that are presented to you right now on your screen, you can see that there's a quick emotion on our sentence, on different sentences that is presented to you. On the first sentence, hey, get off that floor. Hey, get off that floor. The interjection used in that sentence is hey. And hey communicates emotion of being angry or being dominant. That's why it you the speaker used the interjection hey. And on the second example, oh, that is a surprise. On the second example, oh, that is a surprise. The interjection used in the sentence is oh, and the speaker is feeling surprised. The speaker is the speaker is feeling a little bit sad. That's why he or she said that he or she used the interjection O. On the third example, we have good. Now we can move on. Again, good. Now we can move on. On the third example, we have the interjection good, and the speaker wants to pertain the emotion of being happy or the emotion of joy. And on the last example, jeepers, that was close. Again, jeepers, that was close. The interjection used in the sentence was jeepers, and the speaker wants to pertain that he or she is very surprised in that situation or in that sentence. That's why he or she used the interjection jeepers. Let's now move on to our next part of our discussion. There are a lot of interjections we can use. The first one are the yes or no interjections, because yes or no interjections are often used by us speakers to say if we are agreeing or disagreeing between in a situation or in a question. That's why we are using yes or no interjections to say if we agree or disagree. For example, indeed, that is not the first time the stand has collapsed. Again, indeed, this is not the first time the stand has collapsed. Indeed, there is the interjection in the sentence, and the speaker is agreeing that it is not the first time the stand has collapsed. Second example, yes, I do not intend to cover the bed. Again, yes, I do not intend to cover the bed. The interjection used in the sentence is yes, and the speaker is agreeing that he or she does not want to cover the bed. On our third example, I want all of you to comment which interjection is used in the sentence. Again, on the third example, I want you to identify which interjection is used in the sentence. You may comment your answers on the chat box, so I will see if you are still with me with this discussion. Miss Lorica Esponilla answered that the interjection used in the sentence is yes. You are correct, Miss Lorica. The interjection used in the sentence is the interjection yes, and it is located at the first part of our sentence. Very good answer, Miss Lorica. Interjections can also be sounds, or interjection can also be sounds that is produced by us individuals. Like, phew. This is an example of interjection that an individual produced and is used in the interjection. For example, phew, I am not trying that again. Phew, I am not trying that again. The interjection used in the sentence is phew, because there's a sense of relief in the sentence. That's why the speaker wanted to show that he or she is relieved, that he is not trying that again. so that he used or she used the interjection. Phew. The second example, I knew that last week. Again, I knew that last week. The second example, we have the interjection because the speaker wants to pertain that he or she already knew that last week. That's why he or she used the interjection. And on the last example, my compliments to the chef. My compliments to the chef. So on the last example, you may can anyone in the class identify which interjection is used in the sentence? Again, anyone in the class identify which interjection is used in the sentence? You may comment your answers on the chat box. So Miss Lorica Esponilla answered that the interjection used in the sentence is Your answer is correct, Miss Lorica. The interjection used in the sentence is because the speaker wanted to say that the food that the chef produced is good. That's why he or she used the interjection. Mr. Sapin and Mr. Galas also answered the interjection. You two are correct with your answer because the interjection used in the sentence is We will now move on to the next part, the multi-word interjections, because some interjections cannot only be one-worded. It is also multi-worded. We can also use multi-worded interjections in our sentences. For example, oh really? I doubt that. Again, oh really? I doubt that. The interjection used in the sentence is oh really, and it is a two-word interjection, the oh and really. Second example, holy moly, she won. Again, holy moly, she won. The interjection used in the sentence is holy moly, and it is a two-worded interjection. And on the last example, my God, you are alive. Again, my God, you are alive. Can someone in the class comment which interjection is used in the sentence? Again, can someone in the class comment in the chat box which interjection is used in the sentence? Mr. Raymar Sapin answered that the interjection used in the sentence is my God, and your answer is correct. Let's now move on. But let us not forget that interjections can also be on the latter part of the sentences or at the middle part of our sentences. Miss Miss Lorica Esponilla and Mr. Galas, your answers are also correct. Again, let's move on to the multi-word interjections, that not all interjections can be located at the first part of our sentences. Some interjections can also be located at the middle part, and also at the latter part of our sentences. For example, it is cold, indeed. Again, it is cold, indeed. The interjection used in the sentence is the word indeed, and it is located at the latter part of our sentence. Second example, we've just won the lottery. Hooray! Again, we've just won the lottery. Hooray! The interjection used on the sentence is hooray, and it is located also in the latter part of our sentence. And on the last example, we won the game. Yippee! We won the game. Yippee! Can someone in the class identify which interjection is used in the sentence? You may comment your answers at the chat box. You may comment your answers at the chat box and I will be waiting for your answers. Mr. Mark Justin Gallas that the interjection used in the sentence is yippee. You are correct with your answer, Mr. Gallas. And also Miss Lorica Esponilla and Mr. Raymark Sapin have also answered yippee. And all of your answer is correct. The interjection used in the sentence is yippee, and it is located at the latter part in our sentence. Here, I will be presenting to you some examples of interjections that is used in real life. For example, yes, it's absolutely true that anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can do it well, according to Zig Ziglar. In the first example, you can really see that the interjection used in the sentence is the yes or no interjections. And thus, it is an example of a literary piece. And we can really see that you can use interjections in a literary piece. Second example, well, it's 1 a.m. Better go home and spend some time with the kids. Homer Simpson from the Bart, the Simpson family. And on the second example, it is from an animated cartoon, from an animated cartoon or from a cartoon, and it is a media. You can really see that not only just literary pieces that we can use interjection, but we can also use interjection in the media. That's how crucial interjections is in our sentences or in the English grammar. And interjections convey emotion, such as in different interjections that is presented to you on the screen, you can see that there are different emotions and there is a connected interjection. For example, when you feel joy, when you are happy, you can use the interjection, hooray, or yay, or woohoo. Those interjections, you can say that when you are happy. But when you are sad, you can use the interjection, oh no, or oops. You can use that interjections when you are sad or when you are in dismay. But when you are in pain or when you feel pain, you can use the interjections, ouch, ow, or ayah. Those interjections, you can use that when you are in pain. So you can see, class, that there's a different interjections that we can use when we feel different emotions. And we are now done with our discussion with interjections. We will now move on to our assessment. I will be giving to you 5 set of questions that you will answer on your notebook and we will check it later on. I will be giving you 5 set of questions and every question you only have 5 seconds. And we will check your answers and you may comment your scores after we checked our answers. So first question is this. An interjection is letter A or letter B. I will now count. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's now move on. Second question, an interjection is often followed by letter A or letter B. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's move on to the third question. Select the interjection A, B, or C. 5, 4, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's now move on to our fourth question. Select the sentence with an interjection A or B. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's move on to our last question. Select the interjection that expresses pain. A, B, or C. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's now check your answers. On the question number 1, the answer there is letter A. An interjection is a word that used to express strong feeling or sudden emotion. Question number 2, an interjection is often followed by an exclamation mark or a semicolon. The answer there is letter A. Again, number 2, the answer there is letter A. Number 3, select the interjection. The answer in the number 3 is letter C, O or O. The interjection is O. So the answer there in number 3 is letter C. On the fourth question, select the sentence with the interjection. The answer there is letter B. Oh dear, what are we going to do about this mess? The answer there is letter B on the fourth question. And number 5, select the interjection that expresses pain. And the answer there is ouch. The answer there is ouch. And you may now check your answers and you may comment your answers. Or rather, you may comment your scores on the chat box so that I will see. I will see if you got high scores or low scores on our assessment. You may comment your answers. Mr. Mark Justin Gallas got a perfect score. Very well done, Mr. Mark Justin Gallas. Mr. Raymar Sapin answer have got the score 3/5. Not bad, Mr. Mark Sapin. Mr. Raymar Sapin. Not bad with your scores. And you also did well because you surpassed the half of this score. And so I didn't hear the right answer, Miss Lorica. Don't worry, I will give the answers again. On the on the first question, the answer there is letter A. The first question, the answer there is letter A. Second question, the answer there is letter A again. Second question, the answer there is letter A. Third question, the answer there is letter C. Third question, the answer there is letter C. Fourth question, the answer there is letter B. The answer there is letter B. And on the last question, the answer there is letter C. And you've commented your answer on the chat box, and I can see that you've also got a perfect score with our assessment. And you've done a very good job, Miss Lorica. Congratulations. Let's give ourselves an applause because we really did well on our assessment. Let's move on to our activity. This activity is called A-acting mo ang interjection na ito. So I want all of you class to find a mirror. You can find a mirror just you can find a mirror just a small mirror or a big mirror. Any of that mirrors can do. And I want you to stand directly in front of that mirror. Or I want all of or if you have found a mirror that is small, I want you to look in front of that mirror. And I want you to pick three interjections that is presented to you earlier. Three interjections that possesses emotions. For example, the emotion happy, sad, disgust, those different emotions. I want all of you to pick three emotions and act an interjection using that emotion. For example, I chose the interjection happy. So I will be saying, "Hooray! I got a perfect score." And when you it is when you are in pain, you can say, "Ouch! My stomach hurts." So you may do that activity. I will be giving you 5 minutes to do that activity. And if you are done with the activity, you please comment done on the chat box so I can see if you are done with the activity. But first, are you clear with the instructions? You may answer yes with the instructions. Are you okay? Have you understood the instructions? You may comment yes on the chat box so that I can see if you've understood the instruction. Thank you very much, Miss Lorica and Mr. Mark Justin Galas. So let's now start. You may now find a mirror and act the interjections you chose. And if you are now done with the activity, please comment done on the chat box so I will know if you are done with our activity. I will be only giving to you 5 minutes, okay? So I will now start our timer. It's 5:42 and we will end that activity at 5:47. Or if you are all done, we will end the activity earlier. As I've seen that you are all done with the activity. Congratulations, class. Give yourself a round of applause because you are now done with your activities. Job well done, class. And after that activity, after we did the activity that is given to you, as a one last question, I want you to give your takeaways on our lesson for today. What have you learned? What have you learned with our lesson for today? I want you to comment your generalizations or takeaways on the chat box so that I will read what have you learned on this discussion. In this discussion, I want all of you to comment your answers in the chat box so that I will read all of your answers. Historica Esponilla have given her takeaway that without any interjections in our sentences, our emotions are useless through words. And it is very correct. Your answer is very much correct, Miss Espinilla, that interjection is used in our sentence because we wanted to give more emphasis on what we feel on that sentence. And it is blunt if we don't use interjection in our sometimes we don't use interjections in our sentence. It it is like it needs a little bit of spice. That's why we use interjections. I will be waiting for your generalizations or takeaways on the discussion. You may comment your answers, just like what Miss Lorica Esponilla did on her generalization. You may comment your answers on the chat box, and I'll be waiting for your answers. Mr. Mark Justin Gallas commented his generalization that I learned that we have different interjections that we can use in a sentence to give emphasis more on what we want to say and show your emotions. And I can really agree with your answer, Mr. Gallas, that there are different interjections that we can really use in our sentences because we want to give more emphasis on what we feel in our sentence. That's why we use different interjections. Think your answer is correct, Mr. Galas. Mr. Raymar Sapin have also given his takeaway that interjections can be used to make our words have a strong emotion, and interjections can be used at any time to add a deeper meaning of words. Your answer is correct, Mr. Raymar Sapin. We use interjection in our sentences because we wanted to give it more meaning, or we wanted to make it more deeper, or to make it more relatable. That's why we use interjections. And thank you for all of your generalizations, class. I can really see that all of you have learned well with our discussion for today. This is your assignment, class. I want you to write 5 sentences using interjections in your sentences, and also do research about conjunctions. And I want your assignment to be written in your notebooks. Again, your assignment is write 5 sentences using interjections in your sentences and do research on conjunctions. You may write your assignment on your notebooks. And if you have understood the instruction for the assignment, you may answer yes on the chat box so that I can see if you've really understood the instruction for our assignment. Again, you may comment okay on the chat box to see if you've really understood our instruction for our assignment. Next meeting, Mr. Mark Justin Gallas have answered yes. Thank you very much for your response. Mr. Mark Raymart Sapin have also answered yes. And Miss Lorica Esponilla have also answered yes. Thank you very much for your response. And do you have any questions about interjections? Or do you have any questions about our lesson for today, class? Do you have any questions about our lessons for today, class? None, sir. Thank you very much, Miss Lorica Espanilia. Mr. Raymart Sapin have also answered none, sir, and Mr. Mark Justin Gallas have also answered. It's if there are non-questions, if there are no questions for the discussion and also for the assignment, let's call it a day. Goodbye, class, and see you next meeting. God bless. Thank you very much, class, for participating. And the live stream is now ended. Goodbye, sir. Goodbye, class. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Again, I am RD Arciaga, and thank you very much for learning with me. And goodbye, class. Thank you.